Okay, welcome everyone. If somebody divorces his wife, I'm sorry, I shouldn't, we're dedicated by the Fisher family, Lishmas Basi Bas Rabbi, Shlomo ben Avram Alevi, Perel Bas Ruvain. Also, Ili Nishma, Shlomo ben Mordechai, Lefu Shalem for Avram Yishai ben Shmayo Yosef, and for the schools of Avram and Yom ben Shmamak Yehudis, by Yod Klugman and family, for Meir ben Chayesara. So we're holding and finishing, closing out the fourth parak of Gittin as we learn the eighth and the ninth Mishnayos in the fourth parak of Gittin. Hamaitzias ishtay mishum islandless. If somebody divorces his wife because she's an islandless is a woman whose body does not have the simonim of a man. She doesn't have a soft voice like a woman. She has facial hair, and generally such a woman is not going to have children. So the din is, Rabbi Yehuda says he cannot take her back. We're afraid that maybe they made a wrong assessment, and the child and the wife wasn't an islandess, and if she should have then children, the husband will claim if he would have known, he would have never divorced her, making the second marriage, annulling the get, and making the second marriage not good, and the children mamzerim. So therefore we tell him, if you're going to do it, you have to know you can never take her back. The Chacham say that he could take her back, and the reason is because even though he said that he's divorcing her because of an islandess, he didn't make a t'nai kofel. He didn't say, and if she's not an islandess, I'm not divorcing her. And it's going according to a mayor that if he doesn't make a t'nai kofel, the condition wouldn't be upheld anyway, and therefore there's no way for him to overturn the get. And therefore, he could take her back. Nisis la'acher, if let's say he divorced her because she was an islandess, and once he divorces her as an islandess, he doesn't have to give her a ksuva because it's considered that it was her fault. Then she marries another man, and from the other man she has children. So now she goes back to the first husband and says, listen, I want a ksuva. You see, it wasn't my fault. So, nisis la'acher, if she gets married to another man, and she has children from him, so now she says to the first husband, give me my ksuva, because you see it wasn't my fault, you deprived me of ksuva. Rabbi Yehuda says, we tell her, it's better for you to be silent than for you to talk. Leave things alone. Because if you're going to ask for your ksuva, then he's going to say, if I would have known that I had to give a ksuva, I would have never divorced you. I would have never given you a divorce. And therefore, that would then cause that her children from her second husband would be mamzerim, so therefore it's better for you to be quiet. Now, Mishna tells us as follows. HaMoicher es atzmoi ve'es bonav ligoy. If here's a man that's destitute, he sells himself and his children to a guy. Now the din is that such a person you have to try to redeem. You have to try to ransom. But if he does it 3 times, he sells himself and his children, and you redeem him. And then he does it a second time, and he does it a third time. Ein paidin, I say. You don't have to redeem him after the third time. However, once he dies, you then should redeem the children. After the death of the father. Now, the final case, remember we were saying a lot of examples of tikkun ha'olam. The final case is an interesting case. If, let's say, Bruce sells his field in Eretz Yisrael to a guy. Now, the Tana of our Mishnah holds, Ein kinyan l'guy, la'afkiya es ha'oretz midei kedushasai. And therefore, even though the guy, he sold his field to Tony, the field retains its kedusha. So, lekeya, he buys from the guy, umevi mimenu bikurim. and he has to bring the first fruit, because En Kinyan L'Goy, Lavkia Aretz. He doesn't have the power to release the Aretz. Now, but it's a little bit challenging, then why does the Mishnah say Mipnei Tikkun Ha'olam? He should be chayiv to bring Bikurim Midaraisa. So the Gemara tells us what happened is the Goyim, when they saw that when the people were buying from them, they still gave Bikurim, so the Goyim felt that they had holy land, and they didn't want to give it up. So therefore they enacted that people shouldn't bring Bikurim, and this way the guy would release the land, and they'll say, oh, once we buy it, it doesn't have any holiness, so they'll let us get it back. But when people saw that when the guy had it, it doesn't have holiness, they left it by the guy. And therefore they reenacted that, like the original law, they reenacted that when you buy from them fruit, you should give Bikurim. We'll stop over here, Rabbi Isai. I want to thank you for bearing with me with a very late start tonight, and have a wonderful evening.